to call the Morehaven City Council regular meeting to order for August the 5th, 2025 at 6 p.m. here at City Hall. Roll call. Sean,
I'm here.
Alicia,
Here.
Marcus,
Here.
Brad,
Here.
Clay's here, Ashley,
Here.
Larry,
Here.
Steve,
Here.
and Brad Wade's on the phone. Okay, and we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guests in the audience. We'll do the invocation now. Miss Connie, do you mind doing the invocation?
No, I don't like.
Okay, and I'll do the pledge.
Lord Jesus, we just come to you this evening and ask for your grace and your understanding and for your presence with us in each and everything that we do, that we present you in a mighty way through all our actions and our words, Lord Jesus. We just ask you to be here this evening as decisions are made on behalf of the city of Morehaven and the community. Lord, we just ask for your blessing and your guidance and your discernment through everything that we do. In your heavenly precious name we pray. Amen. Amen.
Y'all, before we say the prayer or the pledge this afternoon, if you don't mind, please. Thank you. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, item number 3, additions, deletions, corrections to the agenda. Seeing none, go to item number 4, request to change date of first tentative budget public hearing workshop or date for September 3rd, 2025 at 5:01 to comply with advertising dates and property appraisers requirement.
At the last meeting, we had set the date for the first tentative budget public hearing to September 2nd. That was convenient because that coincided with our meeting. However, the property appraiser will not allow any first public hearings prior to September 3rd. So we're requesting to schedule that date until September 3rd. September 4th is the school board has that date reserved, so there's not really a lot of flex in there, but what we're requesting is to have the first public hearing, public budget public hearing on September 3rd at 5:01. And like I said, from that we'll have time to set the second public hearing, but it has to be held within 15 days of the first public hearing, so that'll be either September 12th or 15th. So
Move to change the date of first budget public hearing date to September 3rd.
Motion by Mark,
Second.
second by Alicia. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? So September 3rd at 5:01. Good with everybody. All right. Item number 5, report of officers, city manager.
the BEAD Challenge program, which was that's the broadband program that was allowing funding for underserved and unserved areas. The state had released the maps on that. That process closed yesterday afternoon. I do understand, I believe, that Connexon had placed a bid on a couple of our areas that fit the criteria. So we're waiting to hear to the final results, but it did close yesterday at 5 p.m. Like I said, there were some areas on the map and for around Morehaven where the criteria was met, that there was unserved and underserved population. So there's, I guess, a good possibility to get funding for that. So actually, we'll hear more later as at least the results. I'm not aware of anybody else, applying to make any application. We have, like I said, I mentioned a couple times that Xfinity has contacted us to say that some of their the business internet is now becoming available in the area, and they will be out trying to get signups for those locations. The Xfinity residential program is not finished yet for the broadband. It's still under construction, but they're saying that business customers are easily available. So we'll try to find out as soon as we can on what's available. That's it.
Okay. Does anyone have anything for Larry? Sean, you anything? You good? You good? All right. All right. Thank you, Larry. City Attorney,
I don't have anything.
does anybody have anything for Steve? City Clerk,
I don't have anything.
does anybody have anything for Ashley? Okay, Craig A. Smith, not here. CAS, Miss Connie.
I have a lot.
Yes. Normally, when you got a lot, it makes us all happy. So,
Well, I thought I'd start with, your current grants. So for the City Hall hardening project, we went to Florida Commerce and asked for a time extension and an amendment to the scope of work. So we asked for a year's time extension, but they only gave us 6 months. So they just completed that process. So we do have that. So the grant ends December 25. But I anticipate asking for another time extension.
mhm.
So the way this process works, they wanted to do the time extension first and then do the scope of work change. And the scope of work change kind of is a process because the money we got for the City Hall hardening project was through the legislative appropriations process. So we have to reach out to the delegation members and letting them, asking for their support because Florida Commerce is going to come to them and say, well, this is not what was on the House and Senate forms. They want to change the scope. You want to do a generator and the ADA to come in the building. So I've already reached out to Representative Tuck's office and to Senator Wells, kind of gave them a heads up of what's happening. And I've drafted a couple draft letters. So then the other thing we have to do, so the next step is I have to do a payment request based on the invoices you've already been billed. So that's the next step that I got to do. That way it gives us a balance of what's left in the grant. And then we'll have, I know you, Larry's working on cost estimates. So that'll kind of tie into the official request for the scope of work change. So I have to kind of, even though, and I've talked to, I want to say the lady was an attorney at Florida Commerce. And so this is the process that they want to go through. So it's slow and methodical, but we'll get there. So, and so just kind of, that's kind of what's going on with that. For the vulnerability assessment planning grant, I had a conversation with Lindo and the engineers. So they're in the middle of this modeling process, GIS mapping, and they're on the two tasks that kind of go together, but they're separate tasks. It's a sensitivity analysis and an exposure analysis. And they have to do this flooding modeling for 100 year, 200 year, 500 year. So they're in the middle of that. So hopefully by, I want to say up to maybe November, we'll have like a draft report and that they can kind of put together and you know, bring up to date. They can put all these layers on. It's kind of interesting. I don't understand half of it, but so they're working on that. And for the water plant expansion funding that we got through the legislative appropriation, the 2.7 million, we did the preliminary paperwork. I had a couple of phone calls from DEP. I've addressed their questions. And so now it's going through the DEP process. So where they're going to draft an agreement and a grant work plan. And then that'll come back down. I don't know their time frame, but it's in the works. The other things that we're doing, I called DEP because we only got half of the funding for the water plant expansion. So they only have 2 grant programs out, alternative water supply and the non-point source program. So I called the water resource guy, and he said the water plant expansion would not qualify for either one of those 2 grants. And he said really the only thing that would work would be the SRF loan grant program. So, and we also did a federal grant application to the congressman's office. He's supporting it, but we won't know anything with that. So my suggestion is to keep that in our legislative funding request for the 26 year for the balance of the money. Since all the paperwork for the 26th session has to kind of be prepared on also any federal. My recommendation for that program. The River Stormwater Improvement Project, the Avenues K and L. We're working on non-point source right now for that. I've reached out to the engineers to make sure the cost estimate was from 2024. The way things are going, I just wanted to make sure that we're asking for the right amount of money. And I don't know if we're going to, you know, this has to be done by the end of the month. Has to be. So I'm suggesting we also keep that in the 26 funding requests because we won't know any answers as far as the grant goes before the paperwork has to be done. We've already submitted a grant application on the automatic metering program through the alternative water supply. We submitted that in July, but we might want to just keep that project on the legislative requests as well to see. And what my conversation with DEP as far as the alternative water supply goes is their funding was reduced. They don't have as much to go around statewide. So I told, when I was talking to her, I said it's a $3.5 million project. She says, well, based on our funding cut, it would be easier to do $1 million. So I talked to Larry and we came up, we're going to do $1 million. It'll be a pilot. You could maybe get the software and a few meters and kind of work out the kinks as a starting point. But I would still go ahead and put the full ask in.
Could be just maybe get $1 million a year for a couple of years.
So, well,
That's how I'm looking at it.
well, this is just a grant program, but if we leave it at 3.5 for the
Ain't getting none
legislative,
of it.
you know. So let's just keep asking. I mean, that's my suggestion.
Mhm.
It depends on what y'all want. Thank you. And so I had a phone call from Florida Commerce, because last year we filed for the Marina Seawall project and we didn't get it. And there were other grant applications that had jobs connected with it. So they went to the top of the list. So they called me about applying for this year. And at the time I said, well, we're kind of in the same boat. Will it make a difference? We didn't really have any jobs or a way to have a partnership with somebody else. So that's a rural infrastructure grant. It's a total participation grant. And of course, the deadline's at the end of the month, like the other grants are. So I didn't know, Larry and I had a brief conversation and since all this took place with Florida Commerce, I guess somebody purchased some property over there by the marina. So that might change. We might be able to be eligible for a rural infrastructure grant. I don't know.
Yeah, the Granger Group is planning on putting in some buildings right along First there to start up the projects. Kind of thing. One of them will be a sales office and probably a couple of models and that kind of thing. That's going to be their first portion they're going to start on. If we can get them to identify that there's going to be X amount of jobs associated with that part of the project, we can use that, to help support like I said, with the grant, they want to see some jobs and if they'll, I won't say they'll commit, but if they'll certainly say that they plan to hire, they haven't come up with a number yet. They're going to hire 5 people to work there or whatever. We can use that we got by with this grant with only, what, 3 or 4,
I know.
the doctor's office with
Yeah.
only 3 or 4 jobs out of it, so.
It's
if we can get-
jobs. They didn't say.
Yeah, they didn't say how many, they just said jobs, so we're gonna try to get them to, to basically fill out the form and identify that, yeah, they expect this project to be this much, they're gonna be, be in the first phase at this period, and it's gonna create this amount of jobs to help support that grant.
So that's kind of, those are the things we're looking at, and I just want to make sure, Larry, I want to say the last time we asked, it was under $2 million for the seawall. But it might be more now.
Yeah,
It's shovel ready.
I think it was 1.8, but,
Yeah.
or 2.1, so one of those two, I can't remember.
So I just want to make sure that, we ask for the right amount of money. So I just want to an update on what the, cost would be for that, just to be on the safe side. And, so, next week, the League of Cities has their annual conference in Orlando. So y'all don't usually go, but if anybody's going, let me know. Because Jim and I'll be there. Just, we don't really register, but we're there. So, and I'm anticipating the deadline for the 26th priority package to be mid-December, because October 1st is the delegation hearing. So usually a couple weeks before that. So I started drafting the 26 priorities, and I left, the projects in that we asked for last year. I adjusted the funding on the water treatment plant to be 50% of what, the balance of what we need. And then I'm working on some of the legislative language that happened last year, where they wanted to eliminate the regional planning councils. They wanted to increase the sovereign immunity limits, like a lot at one shot. So we know that's gonna come back. They are gonna increase the sovereign immunity limits. They're gonna cap it. But instead of making it, 3 million, off the bat, we were hoping to put in language like, make it more gradated, that, less every couple of years, maybe raise it. So it can be absorbed through the budget, not so drastically. So, and then I was going to put some language in there about the property tax exemption that they want to do. That's going to be on the ballot in November. Try to make the rural counties whole through payment in lieu of taxes, and kind of putting some language together to include in that. And if there's anything else that you all know of that you would like included there, and I've asked for increased funding for the Florida Boating Improvement Program, which we applied for the seawall, and they had 40 applications, over $20 million worth, and there was only $3.3 million in the budget. So, and that budget's been kind of like that for the last few years. So I'm putting some language into the document to say increase funding for the state programs. And they didn't put any money in the wastewater program this year or the parks for that. They spent it all on projects instead through the budget. So those are some of the things we're working on. The committee weeks of schedule is out. There'll be 2 in October, 2 in November, 2 in December. So we're going to have the delegation hearing October 1st, and then October 8th, I'll be in Tallahassee for the committee weeks. That's the first one. And I'm anticipating the House form. It always comes out first, and it's the one that has the deadline. Those are the forms I'll sign for your funding request first. And I always, when I fill them out, I share them with Larry and Ashley. They can kind of look them over to see if I've got any bloopers in them, and then give me any edits or anything, and then before I submit them to Representative Clark for sponsorship. So I think that's it, unless y'all have any questions for me.
Well, it wasn't as good as I would have liked to have had, but it wasn't as bad as it could have been.
Okay.
I mean, I would like to have the 20 million grant and
Yeah.
okay, thank you, Miss Connie.
You're welcome.
Bradley,
I really don't have a lot. Everything's running as normal. I did get with Colleen at code enforcement and tell her to go ahead and push things along on some of this code enforcement stuff. I know I don't know if we've been to the new magistrate yet or not, but I have told her to start pushing stuff along that's getting kind of backlogged.
She's not sending to me, so.
Yeah, and, yeah, we had a conversation this afternoon too, and that's simply one of them, sorry.
And I assume we're paying for it.
If there's some specific, site, addresses, we're gonna go ahead and cite and get them prepared to go before the special magistrate.
Good.
The only other thing I have is we have an uptick in water usage right now. I was hoping to find something through the past meter reading, and we really didn't see anything there. We've checked flow meters to see if we were getting bad readings. So tomorrow we're going to kind of be out walking alleys and ditches and just seeing if we can find a leak somewhere. So, hopefully we can find something. If not, we're going to have to take more drastic measures of isolating and see if we can find a leak that we have. Other than that, that's all I've got.
Okay. Anybody got anything for Brad?
Did you have a leak on Avenue N today, Brad?
Thought we did. That's where I think the dump truck's coming in at the new house that's going up there. Just north of that, I think them dump trucks had mashed where that. There's a water line that goes there. I don't think anything that heavy's been through there since they've did that work. So it kind of collapsed on top of it. I was thinking there was a water line there, so we cut it out to make sure. And that's where we're at with that. We'll look up when it settles.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, that was damage from dump trucks.
It's a good base we have, right?
We don't have to demuck.
Yeah.
So, all right, anybody got anything for Brad? Brad, I do have one thing for you and Larry. I spoke to Larry a little bit about it this morning, but I'll say it to you also. As you ride around town, there's some obvious ordinance issues. Doesn't take a rocket science to see it. We need to tighten up on them as much as every time you get a chance. You kind of know the ones I'm talking about, so I don't need to go any further. But to make sure Ms. Miller understands, we need to tighten up on this code enforcement.
Okay. Yep. And I'll get with Larry in the morning.
Okay. All right, item number 6, approval of bills in the amount of $43,752.43.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Alicia,
Second.
seconded by Sean. Yes, sir. Hold on a minute. We have a motion. Go ahead, Mark.
First item up there, $196 for weed eater parts. Maybe Brad can answer that. Was that the one that was thrown out of a truck?
I look at the invoice on it. It's probably for weed eater heads and stuff like that.
I was down today and it did say a head and cover. I'm thinking that's the one that was thrown out of a truck, and I'd like to know, is there any paperwork handed out on that? You were like,
Covered. No, I didn't issue any on that one.
all right,
Brad, I'm gonna go with Mark on this one. You can tell your employees this budget's fixing to get tight. And carelessness, we can't keep having some careless, Brad. So spending $196 on, I don't mind spending money, but for tearing up stuff, being careless, we can't have that. That's not it? Okay. So, all right, anybody got anything else? Huh?
I said I differ with that.
Well, I mean,
Well, I went in and looked at the bills. Go ahead.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Pay the bills. Number 7, citizen comments, general concerns, speakers are limited to 3 minutes. Yes, sir. Yeah, you know, go ahead. You want to talk tonight? You.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Hey, Gary.
How you doing? Gary Blake, 201 Avenue K. What's the general question?
And I apologize, Gary. I couldn't remember you. Hey.
Just a question. You know, between the properties, you got what, easement? that you
Yeah.
Cut? What happens if someone's using it as their personal driveway? What, is there anything against that or what?
No, you need to call Larry and report it to Gary or Brad because the easement belongs to the city.
Right.
And they can't be, I mean, if you, look, we all got to drive down every now and then to get somewhere. You ain't supposed to, but there's water lines down there's electric lines. They mess up and tear something up, then the whole city pays for it. So in a case like that, if you'll call Larry or Brad or Ashley and tell us where it's at, we will speak to that man back in the back of the room and he can go by and have a talk to him.
Well, it's easy to see because you can see where the ruts in there.
Mm-hmm.
And they moved in like during the winter when there's not much water and it just, the little bit of grass there got ruined. So since then, you know, it's raining, you cut it, it's looking nice. And then, I mean, it's like, instead of just going out and going around, they come all the way down and ride right through. It is, that's like, dude, you know, so I was wondering what's the issue with that? Cause
If you'll let Miss Wills know after the meeting or Mr. Willis know after the meeting, we can definitely address it.
all right, we'll do. Thank you.
Yeah, that's all?
Oh, okay.
You got some, no, go ahead.
Since I got the floor.
You already had it. So you-
Just wanted to, two things, recognize, and you probably have done one of our councilwomen for the great work she did this summer with the Koski kids. And I'm gonna tell you, that was a plus for the city as well as for the county. And I think, some way we need to recognize that publicly, number one. Number two, I want to do some horse trading with you. I already had a discussion, with Mr. Tibbs about how we want to try to work with you to get some things. I'm working with the county. I got everybody kind of shaking, but I want to see if there's any way we can, if we're using resources that are already accounted for. And we was talking about doing the once a month on Wednesday, I think he's trying to do it because that's the slow day of having utilizing your resources and your personnel and paying for it. And we'll pay the tipping fee to do some trash pickup in Washington Park. And we'll agree on some things. And I'm just saying, if I can squeeze it down just a little bit more, I can get the funds that they're gonna give me and stretch it out more. And it'll be, again, another plus for the city in general, as well as the county. So again, I just wanna get some time to do some horse
If
trading.
you've discussed it with Mr. Tibbs,
Yes,
he can bring it to us and we'll discuss it.
will do.
All right.
All right, thank you.
But we had already talked about that at one time, haven't we?
Yeah, you know, since then we had a new county manager and, you know, we did some arm twisting and so I said, all right, we'll agree to disagree and we worked on it. So I got everything going the right way, but I owe us the opportunity to see if I can get a little bit of squeeze. Remember, those are our customers also, you know, city of Moorhaven. And this is an opportunity to give a little bit back to the community, but then it's a plus because what we're trying to do is, as a community, once a month, we want to be able to try to collect refuge. And by doing it as like a wholesale, all right, we're going to have a couple hours, boom, 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 pick it up, and we cover the charge. That'll help us out. And I think the first month may be the heaviest load, but after that, probably be done in an hour. If that.
How many loads do you think it's gonna be, Gary?
Well, I'm figuring, because when I talked to Brad, he had mentioned about usually we're about 5 tons on normally when we do pickups. And I'm thinking I'll be lucky to get 5 tons, and it's usually about, I think it was $60 a ton or something like that.
I think it's like 64 or something like that.
Okay, each 70. And, with what we had put together for as, person, labor charge and equipment usage, those two come out roughly about $80 an hour. And I was like, man, it'd be nice if we can get that down a little bit more. Cause see, whatever I get from the county, how we're gonna do it is that they will add it to the Washington Park Committee budget, and then we will stroke your check. That way we keep everybody clean. They see what we're doing. You see what you're getting paid for. But the bottom line is, how can we utilize our resources to kind of beautify the area? And so I've been kind of working on that, and thank you for cooperating with us. But then I owe it to us to see if we can squeeze it a little bit more, and then we get this ball rolling. Because what we would do as a committee is communicate it to the community and set the date and coordinate, and then make it happen. So again, thank you.
Yeah,
for
like I said,
cooperation on that.
Gary, get with Brad and Larry, and they'll bring it up before council and we will discuss it.
Will do.
All right.
All right, thank you.
And I apologize for getting your name. Many times we spoke. It's been a long day.
Blake the Snake.
Like, yeah,
Oh, there you go. There's a way to remember it.
Thank you.
yes, sir. Next,
Yes, that's me.
that's you.
Well, I'm here to talk about the Marina
Wait,
revenue.
wait.
Steve
Last name,
Stanforth,
okay,
actually on the boat that's tied up on the dock over by the boat ramp.
okay.
You
Have to have that for legal reasons.
You had had me a little rattled when I said I had 3 minutes on this. I was gonna talk to you about the Marina price point. And I have to admit, part of this is self-serving, that when the rate went from 800 to 500. And my wife and I have been consultants in marina rescues over the years. We've done about 6 marinas, so I have a background in that type of stuff. And we love it here. We say we're home is Key Largo Marina, Key Largo, Florida. But we spend more time here than there. When we're in Key Largo, we leave to go to the Bahamas, we go down to Key West, and we always said that. But now we spent 3 months for 3 years here in Moorhaven on the off season. And this year, 4 months. And we really like it. And when the rate went up, I have 2 friends. One came the last 3 years and another one that was going to come up. And I said there was room that we could have fit all 3 of us in there. And they're staying where they are just because of the price point. They can stay in a marina that's, and I have lists and comparisons if you want to see them. But you can, for $800 a month or similar, you can stay in marinas that have pools and showers and loaner cars and pump outs and all that stuff. We see the pros of Moorhaven. Moorhaven quiet. We love it. We love the quiet of Moorhaven and being here. And it's secure. We secure. We don't lock the boat. We don't care about that stuff. And great people. And we met a few and around, and we like it here, and we like to keep coming back. That's the pros. The list of pros and the slim. When you get to the cons, the showers aren't air conditioned. The cleanliness and the maintenance of the showers are pretty non-existent. The riverware is dirty, so using your air conditioner stuff takes maintenance every single week compared to other places. That's not your fault. This happens. There's no services, no transportation, no groceries, and all that. And the places that are charging $800 also have all that, from pools to cars to rent and all that stuff. My recommendation is that maybe you guys have off season and an on season, because it is on season when you got the people, the snowbirds coming down and that, you can do that. Come in to do something with the shower. I don't know if anybody here's been in the showers or the bathrooms over there, but you go take a shower or go to the bathroom in the morning,
you can't wait to get out because it's so much cooler outside than it is in that building. It's a sweat box. And, so that's one, have off-season and on-season rates. The other is drop boxes or something. You guys need something. This has nothing to do with us. For off hours. We see people come by all the time. They pull up after 4:30 when you're gone. They're gone at first light because they're just passing through. All the marinas, we had a way 24 hours a day that people could pay. Dropbox, some way. It doesn't have to be expensive for a person, but
We have a drop box right here at City Hall.
there was a boat there last night, said they had no clue, don't know what to do. They said they called and they said somebody will come by, and I said,
Well, normally somebody does come by. It kind of fluctuates on the time, but we do have a drop box right here at the front of City Hall, right by the front door.
it needs to be made clear. Like I said, 3 years here, I've never known it. The people there came up on the boat last night, I said, I don't know, I don't even have a personal number of anybody to say, hey, there's somebody here. But away, and you call after hours to say, can I come in?
Mhm.
You know, there's messages or something, some way to let people know, yeah, we want you here and stay, and here's how you can access that, because we see it on and off all the time.
Well, you can always call the City Hall phone number. There's somebody that answers that phone 24 hours a day.
Well, I think
But
that's
is
what
it posted
Mhm.
at the marina?
I think, no, it's all on our website and everything. And we don't have a
And
lot
at
of stuff posted
at
in
the
there.
marina and City Hall, a lot of people don't realize
Mhm.
City Hall is a marina. Usually they think marina is.
What time did those folks come in last night?
Something we got home.
Yeah, it was later. I mean, it wasn't dark, but
It was Saturday.
it was Saturday. Yeah, I shouldn't have said yesterday. It was Saturday and it wasn't dark, and then they had engine troubles or something and they were out at first lock.
So do we have anybody that does that? That comes out and collects the
Yes,
money?
Donner.
Oh,
And maybe somebody came by. I don't know. They did or not. We don't stand there and watch.
I
Yeah.
think,
Yeah, they're usually around about 6:30.
Brad, how hard would it be to make a sign that we could put down at the marina, at both docks? Or all, at least, 'cause I see what he's saying. If you don't know where the drop box is and you don't know what the phone number is to call, I mean, yeah, it's on the website, but, and correct me
I
if
can
I'm
make
wrong.
this fine.
Okay, if I'm
Yeah,
wrong,
we,
how many boats are, got a web, can go online? I mean,
I don't
we
know.
just have an order from have the number and
Yeah, I can order a sign on Amazon for that.
Because I know when we have questions, I have a close personal friend I call with all that, Mr. Tibbs here.
well,
You lost my-
We did,
Part-time.
when we changed the ordinance and we went up on the rates, we did come back because the dockage out front was, it turned out to be, very expensive. And it's really, there's been a sharp decrease in usage out there. Even though we did drop the rate back down to, went from 3 to 2, we still haven't recovered the traffic that we had before. And I think when we came back to that meeting too, I suggested we drop this rate back too. We went from 5 to 8 with no change in amenities or anything else. I suggested that we drop that rate back also, but it didn't, if we didn't, obviously it didn't pass, but I mean, that, I think that's,
now Larry, not to interrupt, but
Yeah.
do you think that the decline in usage, is it just less boats are traveling
No.
to Caloosahatchee, or do you think it's?
You never know about the usage in marinas. I know we took over a marina that had 0 transits, but they had nobody answering the phones. They didn't do that. We took over and we said, we answer the phones 24 hours a day. People call 11 saying, oh, I thought you could get an answer machine. I can't wake myself up and say, but we did that for 3 years so that it could come back, and the marina came back. One of the most successful marinas, the most successful marina in Beaufort, South Carolina. 5 stars. We got a 3.5 star once. We bought pooped our pants. We couldn't figure it out. But I think that there is a difference between the people that come down for the winter on the on season that come down and stay and the people that are here like us in off season. When we've been the only boat here since we've been here, I think. And we want to come back. We like it. We kind of brag on you guys saying, yeah, we're in Moorhaven, not one sit down restaurant, one bar. We love it. You know? And our friends, Peter, who was here the last 3 years with us on his boat, and he went to visit a friend. He was going to miss the first month we were here. And he said he's up in Kilmarnock right now. He's paying $800 a month. Washer, dryer, boaters lounge, air conditioned, a pool, parts store, loaner car, pump out services. I mean, the pump out service is a huge deal. But we can't use the head, so we got to get up and go use the head. So now we get up and going down in the morning and using the head that's 100 degrees in there. If you had a pump out system, we could stay on the boat. So it's those things, free Wi-Fi. It just goes on. I have Kilmarnock, Ladies Island Marina, Vero Beach, Portsmouth Marina, Gangplank Marina, Washington, D.C. These are all marinas that we went to, and they all have the same type of thing. Some places like D.C., you can't compete with the tourism. I mean, you're downtown Washington, D.C., but they still have the nice stuff. And
You had to pay for Washington DC, or they paid you?
what's that?
You had to pay for Washington DC, or they paid you?
Both. I've been there several times. I managed 3 marinas in Washington, D.C. So they were paying me for those. But we stayed there and anchored out a lot. It's hotter in here. Washington, D.C. is worse than here. We've heard Washington, D.C. is a swamp. That's political. It was built in a swamp, though, and they filled it in with dirt. But the conditions that made it a swamp are still there. It's hot and humid and no wind. It sucks. I think that's it.
Well, aside from the rate issue that you guys can look at, we were trying to time marina improvements with hopefully the development by the Granger Group. But I've been patiently waiting. I mean, Larry's had a little bit more communication with them than I have. They've seemed to fallen off to me, but maybe, once they get that going, then we can start taking a look at what he's referring to. Rates are different though.
So until then, can we get some type of sign, like Clay said, out there?
Yeah,
Put out there,
that's
some type of
that's
sign
no
for
problem. I guess the bigger question is, do you adjust your rates on season, off season, don't, whatever? I mean, that's y'all's call. So.
I know when this all got brought up and with the rates per foot that we dropped, I personally at first did not think it was gonna be a big deal. People are coming through, where else are they gonna stay? And then boats were turning around, So, I mean, we adjusted that. I do feel like we should go back to the long-term rates and adjust that a little bit. I don't think we should go back to what it was. But I definitely think that we need to evaluate that. And like he said, I mean, our bathrooms aren't even air conditioned. So, let alone a pool or laundry or anything else in between.
I mean, I understand you're not gonna put laundry in, and you're not gonna have a car. Your marina's not that big.
No, but I understand where you're coming from also.
Yeah, we all.
For sure.
And the heat's one thing, but I mean, it's full of spiders. You don't even have a mirror in your bathroom.
To be honest with you, and I think Steve, you'll agree with me, but when we first started that, I don't think we were gonna allow it to be more than like a week or so.
It was a 5-night. It was a 5-night maximum.
Yeah, over time it's expanded, which
That's.
When we did the rates, we changed it though, right?
Oh, yeah, that's afterwards, so we're.
Just over there, out here, still 5-night maximum.
Oh, yeah, here, over there is where they're at is changed.
but again, there's certain things you can control now. There's certain things you can't really do. It would be nice, wish list that might at some point in the near future come to fruition, but in terms of the aesthetics in the bathroom and that, there's really no excuse for that now. Like,
Who cleans the bathroom?
The guys.
And we agree. If it was my marina, I wouldn't be air conditioning the bathroom, and the marina's not big enough to justify that. But to be at the rate, all those marinas I read off, the highest was 854. So it's, and we wouldn't mind even, we could clean up ourselves, we'd clean up the bathroom and that, but when you come in and you're saying, wow, for last year, it's 60% more, you know.
It's a big jump.
It just, that's a bit much for us.
So that, I think
We want to
that's-
keep coming back.
I think that's what I said when we came back to talk about it, Justin, the talking straight out here is that we probably, I thought we made too much of a jump. That you're taking yourself out of the market. Because like, you don't offer the, in a minute, we don't offer the. the other places
We do
can.
by resolution now.
So,
Right.
So.
So,
Do
yeah,
you want to put that on the agenda for next meeting and let's discuss that?
Yeah.
How often is that bathroom clean?
Should be
Should be
every day.
every day.
It should be every day?
Yeah.
I wouldn't care if it was every day, but the spiders are bad. The sinks are so filthy.
well, that's
I
not
don't
cleaning.
even want to wash
Every day.
That's not cleaning.
And you can't use the toilet paper holder. You have to go like this to get the toilet paper.
They're
You
just,
just
Brad.
use my own toilet paper.
they're old and broken.
Are you on
We
here?
didn't care the last 3
Yeah.
years.
We have brand new toilet paper holders. They apparently haven't been installed.
Since you're here.
Have y'all installed the new toilet paper holders at the marina?
I don't think they have at the marina yet.
We'll get
There's
on
new
it.
ones.
Okay.
And this, we just take our own, so it's not a big deal. We say, no, it isn't a big deal. We like it, and we like being here, and we know what you guys are limited to do on your monies. And we get it. It's just that when it goes to the B, that you're paying more than some of these other places.
maintenance upkeep is on us, so we'll get it.
Thanks, sir.
If your dock out there is a different thing. On season, the people coming by, that's where you make your money, then you fill in the off season and try to get. And you don't you don't take long term, so with the on season, or maybe just over there. I make money all year. Thanks.
Thank
You.
And I wanted to mention, her daughter's a great bartender.
Thanks.
Oh, you, Jennifer, you.
All right, Mayor and Council to give report. Sean?
Yeah. I want to go back to that, cleaning that bathroom. Brad, the guys schedule, they doing that every day, do you know of?
They supposed to go out there first thing in the morning.
Because who wants to go in the bathroom with spider webs or the sink nasty, so can we get someone to go and monitor that bathroom and see they're doing their jobs?
I'll go. Yeah, Brad,
Yeah.
Uh-oh, can we get Bill a raise? No, I'm kidding. Thanks.
It doesn't have to be every day when there's nobody here either. Somebody can go by once a week when there's nobody here.
According to you,
Well, that's part of
we've
their,
got to open them up every day.
yeah.
Still getting, we still getting, crackheads to get out and move.
No, I don't think there's been a problem.
That hasn't been a recent problem.
They were trespassed, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's clothes laying behind there.
All right. Sean, you got anything else?
No, that's it. Just, Bill said he was gonna take care of that bathroom situation and make sure, and that's it. I don't have nothing else. I promise I don't.
Okay. Alicia?
I don't have anything.
Marcus?
Yeah. Brad, I was down there Saturday, walked around the building. There's clothing facing the canal. It's not piled up like it was before, but the guy that does that should walk around that building, and if there's any kind of debris, just throw it away. Put it in the truck or whatever he's driving and throw it away. But there is clothing back there again.
Okay, it will address that tomorrow.
Thank you. And we also need to get rid of some of these cars without plates on them. Colleen has to address that also. There's getting to be a lot of cars sitting around with no plates. Thank you, Brad.
Huh?
Can I say something?
I thought you were done.
No, I mean, to,
Go ahead.
the cars, are they in like people's private, on their private property?
You still have to have a.
You still need to have a
You have
tag
to
on
have a
it?
tag,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, somebody asked me today, that's why I want to find out. I'm glad you brought that up. Okay. I'm learning.
Mark, you, now, before I go to the next one, you're done, right?
They used to do the same thing.
I'm done.
Yeah.
All right, Alicia, you're done? Okay, Mark,
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, I just looked.
Mark,
Made it to 51 minutes, guys.
okay.
I'm good now.
You're good. The only thing I've got is, like I said earlier tonight, Miss Lucas passed away. She's a former mayor of the city, probably that I know the second female mayor of the city of Moorhaven. So I'd like to ask the city council that we get with, let Alicia, get with Tammy and find out, we need to send something, a spread or something. It's only fitting, and, I know I'm supposed to ask the governor, but I ain't asking. Could we drop the flag tomorrow, about half staff, or is that a problem?
If it's not you have the authority, if it's not the governor doesn't address it, or it's not a federal thing, the mayor has the right to.
Can we do that then?
So for just the day tomorrow?
Just for tomorrow? From the Pat. Y'all don't have a problem with that?
Both like a big one too.
All of them.
All of them. She served, like I said, she was what, Mark, 12 years with you, and so
It was funny.
she sat right there in that chair, talked me into running for office. Second thought, take the flag. Okay, Larry, Brad, I'm not gonna keep beating the dead horse, but this, when you ride around the city of Moorhaven, you see some of these code enforcement issues. It's obvious. We can't have that. And we all know where they are. I'm not gonna even mention the ones that I know. But, and each one of us on this council need to be riding and looking also and helping y'all out with that. So we spent the money to get the magistrate and get them in here, because that was always the issue. Well, we can't get the judge to do nothing. So we went and got our own judge. Let's put him to work. And Steve ain't got nothing else to do. He can work on some of this stuff.
Sure.
So, unless anybody has anything for me, I'm
Something
good.
For you.
Oh, yes,
I'm
ma'am.
good. No, I'm good.
You got your hand up. Are you good?
You got something else, Clay?
No, I'm good.
Sure.
And about an hour from now, when I'm laying at the house, I'll think of it.
Tony remembers too when you did that.
Yeah. Miss Connie, do you have anything?
No, sir, I
Okay.
took up enough of everybody's time.
All right. Well, we beat the 18-minute mark tonight, so
Yeah, we did.
discuss financial statements if needed.
Make a motion.
Make a motion by Sean, seconded
What's the
by,
motion? I don't know what the motion.
to adjourn the meeting.
Adjourn. Who's second?
Seconded by Mark. All in favor? All opposed?